Hey, 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 Beat Baseball World. We are back for another episode of the Beepball Blues Show. Said dog, I gotta start out with an apology because uh like
Just one.
you
Just one.
well,
Just
only
one.
one that I'm gonna.
Yeah, right. You don't have a book or a list there,
I mean,
man. You know.
I've got a computer actually to keep them all. I just do one a day.
There you go, man.
One
Keep
a
the
day.
doctor away, man. Keep the doctor away, man.
Makes me feel like there's hope I could get into heaven
Yeah,
still.
right.
But we didn't do a show last week, which isn't out of the ordinary. It's not like we do shows every single week. But normally when there's not a show, I go into where we post in Beepball Nation and Beepball Central and say, hey, no show this week. Might repost the previous show or a link from whatever. And I just totally spaced it. I've been going and checking out the Super Bowl with my dad. It's not something we did growing up, like when I was growing up, but for like the last 25 years, outside of when COVID was heavy.
I thought you were gonna say the last 2-3 years. Brother broke out with 25 years.
Oh,
no.
Now I got hit explicit.
I didn't cuss. I didn't cuss.
You did.
What did I say?
MFer.
No, I said the brother. The brother. I didn't say. I
gotta go back and listen to the
Yeah,
tape.
I give you. I'll bet you $1,000 on that.
All right, no, I hope you're right. I didn't. We got the first family of beat baseball. We can't be cursing like that.
All right, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Oh, but so my dad and I have for the most part, other than 1 year during the first beginning of COVID, we've caught the last 25 Super Bowls together. So I'm over at Pop's house and it hit me. It's like, I didn't post a single thing about the show, whether we're doing it, not doing it. And on the previous episode, we'd say we might have a big competition coming up, blah, blah, blah. So we'll talk more about that in a minute, the competition that was and didn't happen. But before we go on too much longer, we should bring on our guests. We have, excuse me, we have got a frog in my throat, man. We have a whole panel of guests all in the same Smolka house, starting with former President Dave Smolka, his wonderful wife, and my friend Terry Smolka, their wonderful daughter Sammy Smolka, and Uncle Joe's here with us too, Joe Smolka.
Yeah.
Two Hall of Famers and a couple lady Smolkas. How is everybody doing?
Great.
Good.
Little cold, but we're doing good.
Al, okay, I just because I wanted to comment on your intro deal, because I was saying, man, it can't be, I thought you were gonna, say that you guys have been doing it for the last couple of years, and then I was like, 25 years, that's a long time. And I was like, man, it can't be 25 years. I remember, when the Cowboys were going to the Super Bowl, you not being at your pops' house, and I was like, man, that was more than 25 years
over
ago.
25 years ago.
It's like, that's sad, man. That's sad.
I went over there and watched the Super Bowl with them in 1997, and it just turned into a tradition. We just kept doing it. It's not something we did I'm sure we caught Super Bowls together, but it was no tradition between the two of us. So.
Dave, hit me that it was 25 years ago. Geez. Well,
yeah.
Sad, man. Go ahead.
I thought one of you tried to jump in.
No. I said
no?
the Bears. I said like the Bears. We haven't been in the Super Bowl since '85.
No,
everybody still talks about
the won a Super Bowl.
2007? No, 2007 or something like that when they played in.
With Kerry Collins is your coach, right?
When we got our butt kicked.
Big bad Kerry Collins. That made Al Davis think, we'll go sign Kerry Collins now. Didn't work so well for us. So the show that we I mentioned 2 weeks ago that we were going to try to have a little competition. I was trying to merge two shows together. I've always had an idea of because we have so many couples in beat baseball, players, that are both, both sides of the relationship are players. We've got spotters and players and pitchers and players. Well, I don't know if we have pitchers and players, but either way, there's a lot of like relationship links in beep baseball, especially with it being a co-ed sport and a sport that both blind and sighted get involved with. So I Seth, I've had this kind of dream of having a little like newlywed game kind of thing, get a competition going that I thought would be fun. And Leah Michaels, a couple times, she and I have gone back and forth about doing kind of a couple show. Hers being more of a, talking about the, like, I don't know, the juggling a relationship while juggling the World Series and all that stuff. The little sweetheart stuff. I know you would love, Seth. Dog.
Yeah, I get off into all that.
Yeah, you get all warm and fuzzy. So we're going to try to merge them together. And last weekend, with it being Super Bowl weekend and Valentine's Day, it and you and I each had things scheduled on Saturday at different times. So it made it difficult to schedule. And then we tried to do it again this week. And again, it just didn't work out. So we're going to switch directions. Actually, Leah Michaels is going to be on with some of the Edge people here in a couple months, getting ready for the Hitters in Heroes tournament. But for this weekend, we just decided to go all Smolka. So I appreciate you guys getting all together and stepping in and doing this with us.
Oh, anytime. We don't mind.
So I guess to start it out for me, one thing I was going to ask each of the couples that we had hoped were going to join us last weekend, and I'm still going to ask you, Dave and Terry, what came first, beep baseball or the relationship?
Both. Well, no, really.
Yeah, both.
No, because Terry started.
See, this is why I wanted to do the newlywed game. Nobody agrees on anything.
No, Terry and I met in October of '88. So Beepball was over. So I would say the relationship, and then because she got hooked on it in '89. She got she would say drafted into it in '89 when we went to Topeka. And she's been in it since then. She fell in love with it.
Yeah. My background, because I played softball in high school and in college. And Dave's sister set us up on a blind date, AKA. And we did blind bowling. And then he mentioned about beepball. And I said,
how
what is
cliche, that? Blind bowling on a blind date.
Yeah. And then he said something about beep ball. I said, what is that? I said, it's like baseball for the blind. And then I went out the one day to the Bluffs practice, and then I've been in it ever since.
You've spotted, right? You've been a spotter?
Yes, I spotted. I caught. I coached. I tried to pitch until Dave almost took my head off, and I stopped. But I spotted.
I don't know if that'd be covered in a life insurance policy.
Yeah, I don't know how well a relationship would last between a pitcher and a player.
Yes.
I think it would be one of the rougher relationships to have between the.
Dave liked when I caught for Nick, because I would tell all the players, go if left field was open, I told them how to stand to hit that way and everything else.
Or right field, either way.
Right field.
To adjust the batters.
And I was catching until I broke my fingers at the '92 World Series. And then I stopped catching. Yeah. So I was done with that, and then I'm spotting, and now I'm just behind the scenes at the NBA.
This is kind of for both you and your Dave and Joe. I was going to say you and your brother, but it's like, well, I got to address somebody.
Okay.
But so my first memory of any Smolka players, it sounds like we all three, Seth and I and the two of you, all kind of started around the same time, because my first tournament was '87. But my first memory of any Smolkas when Joe and John went to the Cobras somewhere in the mid 90s.
94.
I was going to say 94 or 95. And then, honestly, I don't remember getting to know you, Dave, until like around the comments. And that's not, I mean, I didn't know a lot of players from other teams because we didn't go to all the like smaller tournaments and stuff. So who was the first brother? How do you guys get involved in the sport?
I started in 83.
Oh, wow. You're around for a while.
Yeah, when I was working at the lighthouse, and a friend named Charles, he told my brother and I about for blind baseball. So we were interested. We went over there, the first practice for the Chicago Insight.
I was just going to ask you because I remember when I got involved in '87, there were a bunch of there's like the Chicago Wings, the Insight, the Bluffs. You guys had a bunch of teams rolling at that time.
Right.
After that, then we had two teams. The Wings joined the Insight.
Right.
After a while.
So when did you get involved, Dave?
1987. Joe and John, my brothers, kept pushing me to play beepball, and I kind of I was into bowling back then. So, but I went to an indoor practice in the spring of '87, and I'm like, wow, I fell in love with it, and that's since then. I love to hit, so it was a lot of fun hitting that ball indoors and having a good old time. But then going outdoors kind of sucked. You had to get used to trying to get on the ground to block a ball. That was a little hard. But
yeah, it took a little time to get the hang of it.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Did you ever play? Did you ever play for the Cobras, Dave?
No.
I didn't think so.
I only played with the Insight and the Bluffs, the Hoosiers for a year, then the Fast Star, and then Chicago. We transferred over to the Comets. So I've been playing for that.
I was going to play with them more, but I happened to my twin brother in '85, and then we folded. '95, we folded up.
You and
John
were twins.
Hold on, when I used to hear about the Smolka brothers, they weren't talking about you, Dave.
No. They were talking about Joe and John. They're twins. They're identical twins.
I never knew all these years. I never knew the two of you were twins. Joe.
Yeah, Joe and John were identical twins.
Yeah, we were twins.
Wow, that's cool. I had eyesight until I was almost 11, and I was always fascinated by twins. Like in my kindergarten class, there were twin brothers. They weren't identical, but I've just always been fascinated by twins. So that's cool.
They were very, if you weren't around them, you would never know who was who.
Nope.
But like Terry, she first met him. I don't know if she even how did you?
I tore them apart because John had a different gait than Joe did, and Joe eats with his left and John eats with his right.
Are they both? Are they different? Are you guys different handed, or are you different handed or whatever?
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
They were.
No, one of them learned to eat left-handed.
No,
so
I mean, some
people out.
some people just eat with whatever hand or whatever, but
No.
like in one hit left-handed and the other right-handed.
Yeah, he eats left-handed, bats right-handed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's not left-handed naturally.
No.
Oh,
I just.
Yeah, you see, Neil Dog?
Yeah,
you see why
you
you got
win.
to ask questions?
You win.
Okay.
Seth and I played with identical twins. You guys probably remember Slick and Kimmy Watts.
Yeah,
and
yes. I remember them.
Slick was a right-hander and Kimmy was a left-hander, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How about John and Sal Guzman? How about them? They were brothers, right?
They're brothers. They're not twins.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah, I know, but they were brothers before.
Yeah.
That was years ago, I remember.
I'm sure you made Seth smile. Seth and Johnny Guzman were very close. So
Okay.
you can bring up Guzman's anytime you want to around here. Hey, Joe,
Yes.
you said you started playing with the Cobras in '94.
Yeah.
Seth and I have talked on this show about the game between the Dogs and the Cobras in that 94 World Series being the craziest game ever in beat baseball history. Do you have any thoughts?
Or any memory of it?
You remember that game?
Is that with Ray Marshall?
No.
I don't think you guys had Marshall that year. No.
We had in '95, but
Yeah,
was
no.
when-
94 was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We played a night game that was
Oh,
so out of control. They
Yeah.
made the head umpire come over to our field
Oh
and
yeah,
finish the game.
that was a good game.
Yeah, because we whooped you guys. we had you guys in a run rule after 4 innings, and you guys were the bad boys of beat baseball at the time. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that was like our World Series. We didn't have to win another game. We came into that World Series wanting to whoop the Cobras. And after we did, that was good enough.
I know. But we could be still around, but then things happen. You know how it goes in '95. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's funny because every Cobra player or Chicago player we talked to about that game who would have been there doesn't remember it at all. You know, Neil, it's like part of Dog's lore. It's what started us as who we are.
That was when everybody started hating us.
Yeah,
From that moment on.
that was, you guys started us.
do you remember 1992 World Series in Minnesota? That was a crazy game against you and Chicago Insight. You remember that one?
Yeah, God, I don't remember I remember playing the Insight. I started to say yes, but I was thinking of BSF. The Blind Sports Foundation knocked us out.
But it was a long time ago. But I left that day, but I heard about the game. It was a wild game, that one too.
Yeah, the games in my mind just all blur. There's only a few that actually actually stand out or whatever. But I always want to give Chicago. You guys started us by beating the Cobras, but you guys also when you guys came back on us in that 2003 World Series, that was the last time that the Dogs really played together. I never played with Neil or Eric after that day. I never played with Danny after that day. The Dogs broke up pretty much.
That was the end of the original Dogs.
Yeah, that was the end of the original Dogs. I remember going back in the van that day after you guys doubled. It was so embarrassing. That's why we don't remember it. It never happened. It was truly an embarrassing moment in beatball for the Dogs.
I don't remember that they all three that well. I don't want to even think about that one.
Joe tore his ACL in the World Series game 1.
Oh wow.
ACL. So we had to flip people around to get.
Yeah, I got hurt in that game, the first game. So
I remember it to a T. If you guys want.
Yeah, honestly, I'm about to block you on Facebook because it's the only thing you talk about.
Okay. Well,
Seth brought it up.
Remember, we weren't going to talk about it, but you brought it up.
Yeah, right. I was going to save this for wait until the end of the show, but since we're talking about 03, and you guys knocking us out in the championship, so I've asked about this to other members of the team, and I don't ever get any response that even shows recognition. So after the championship game, I don't remember if it's before the banquet or after the banquet, but we're hanging out in Seth's room. And Seth and Christina, the room they had was like at the end of the hall and in this little cubbyhole area. And so we're all I don't know, it's like Seth, Christina, and I, maybe Eric, it's only a few of us hanging out, and we're down, we're still talking over the disappointment of losing, and all of a sudden there's somebody banging on Seth's door. And so we go over there and answer it all angry because we're already angry, you know what I mean? We go answer the door, and we can't get out of the room. They had like blocked that little cubbyhole area off with like some like furniture stuff that was around the hotel, and we couldn't get out of there. And while we're trying to get out of there, there's people running down the hallway singing "We Are the Champions." And
Oh my goodness gracious!
I
so
have
obviously it was people from your team, but I've never been able to find out who was part of that.
Not us.
Well, we honestly do not know that. What hotel was this at? The host hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever the host hotel was. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was a nice hotel. I liked it.
I have.
We
no idea.
honestly don't know. I mean,
I heard about it, but I think I remembered a little bit about it. Don't know who was that.
I wouldn't put it past maybe Hoodlum.
No, I can't.
I asked Hoodlum about. I thought for sure it's like Hoodlum and Chad and Josh Perry or something. That's who I've always pictured. At least one of the Perry brothers.
How about
being
Wally?
involved.
Or Wally.
Maybe Wally.
No, we're cool with Wally. No, I don't know. So I don't know, but I've asked a few Cobra players. And,
we didn't. We weren't part of that. Event.
We had Warren couldn't see Warren, right? Did you see that?
No.
Who was our catcher at the time?
Joey, I think. No,
Yeah.
Adam.
Oh,
Jeff.
Jeff.
with absolutely no members of the team ever telling me anything about it. It almost sounds like I make it up, but why would I make that up? It's an embarrassing story.
If I even knew about it, but I never heard about it, honestly.
None of these Chicago people remember anything, Neil, and we don't remember 2003, and they don't remember anything else. But I don't know what we can talk to these people
It's
about.
sort of big, but it's been a long time ago.
I don't know about it. I'll put a Bible in front of me, Seth. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Well, my search is still incomplete then.
Hold on, let me jump in real quick. Is Sammy there?
I was just going to address Sammy. That's funny.
Okay.
I was just going to say, it's like, Sammy, man, we have not talked to you at all yet. So let's bring you in. And, you're one of those beep ball like kids that is there a time in your life that you don't remember beep baseball because you grew up with it your whole life, right?
Yeah, 99.
Was growing up as a kid, like Seth's kids love beep baseball, especially Trajan, his oldest one. But like for you growing up, did you love going to the World Series? Was there ever a time you hated going to the World Series, which you had a choice?
Yes and no. I remember vaguely in 2016 especially, when we went to Florida. It was Dad, me, and Joe, only us three going to Florida, and I had to practically guide them throughout the whole airport and train and basically everywhere. And I wanted to I wanted to leave them in Florida. I got frustrated. I was gonna leave Joe in Fort Lauderdale, and I was gonna leave Dad at the airport.
Wow.
You see, you guys made a mistake. See, I tell my kids they're not allowed to have an opinion, right? So they can't decide that to leave anybody.
The 2016 World Series was
what
different for the Smolkas because all three of them were on different teams.
No, Joe.
Joe was on.
No, I was in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Okay, Chicago.
I was on
Dave.
the team.
And then Dave was Chicago, and Sam was in Rochester.
Right. We weren't on separate teams.
No, only
The
I
following
was.
year, they were separate teams.
Blur.
See, we got to do like family night because like what was that? What's the family feud?
Family
we need to do family feuds. That's where you get the real good fight.
You should get the Woodard family.
That would be
Woodard, Simpson, and Smolkas.
And the Kowskis.
that'd be a long show.
Sam, have you ever like spotted or have you ever done?
I spotted for Chicago in Bolingbrook for 1 year, and never again.
Why never again?
Yeah.
My vision,
Mm,
it wasn't good enough now.
right.
So
All right.
Right.
one year I did it was hard enough. I think we played Thunder when I was spotting, and that was just no, never again. And
I didn't know. I didn't know if the players were, hard to deal with. Sometimes blind players can be a little
I was
devious.
right field, so I dealt with, I think, Dad on right field. I think you were right field.
I
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
remember.
But it was, yeah, it was hard for me.
She tried her best. I
Yeah.
gave her, kudos for trying, but
That's
she would
fair
never. She couldn't
No.
make it a long-term job.
No,
No,
in practice it's fine, but in a game, no.
the pressure on her was too much.
Yeah.
Well, in the end, I don't think it's just like pitching. I don't think it's something that anybody could do. You know what I mean? Especially when you're on like a competitive team. If you're a recreational team and you're just
Like
having
Roger.
fun, who cares? But when you're a competitive team, like, every position, not everybody's good. Like out playing defense, not everybody's good. Playing infield, not everybody's good. Playing outfield, not everybody can spot. Not everybody can pitch. I mean, there's specific jobs that it's got. I don't know. Everybody's got different talents, so you know what I mean.
Right.
So
Yeah, when I spotted, I had like, of course, different tones and everything else, but I took control of the field, and if the guys didn't listen, they heard it from me. And, back in the day, I was like, I
Right.
told you, left 3, left 4, and all that.
Terry was called the sergeant for a reason.
The
Yeah.
drill.
Real sergeant. She demanded your attention.
actually, though, that's what we preferred on our team. I mean, Chris Hunsucker isn't like really well known, even though he's in the Hall of Fame as a spotter. That's what we loved about Chris. Like once he became our spotter, like he had he was just like a leader out on the field, and we were missing that after he left. Did tell Greg Parra. Some people when Tim came and pitched for us and Greg shifted to spotting, thought it was like a demotion or whatever. But Greg becoming our spotter improved our defense. He
really?
gave us what we are missing with Chris Hunsucker. So I personally, Terry, I would have preferred that. I don't know how your players took it, but I want that in a spotter.
It's kind of a waste for a spotter to be out there and tell a player 3 steps to the left, and the player doesn't move 3 steps to the left.
Like,
Yeah.
well, guys, it's like, and like, of course, I took notes back then, and then I cheat my players, and then they'd say, "Why'd you move me?" It's like, and then they get the ball directly at the go. That's why I moved you. It's like, listen to me.
Well, yeah, a spotter is the manager out on the field. They need to take charge. Well, I mean, that's how I've always thought of it when I played.
That's what you want. You can't
Right.
not, you know what I mean? If you don't have it, you don't have that.
Oh,
But
right,
that's what
true,
you want.
true.
Yeah.
Right. You what? It's a wish list.
Yeah, I was thinking this earlier, Terry, when you were talking about like when you first started going out to practices with Dave and
Mhm.
helping him like with his stance or whatever. I'm guessing your softball background
Yes.
helped you a lot as far as making like an easy adjustment into our
Yes.
sport.
Yeah, very easy. So very easy, and like even now when we're at the Comets batting cages, especially like with one person, I'd say, "Hey, fix your feet," because he'd always point his foot all the way toward first, and he was lopsided. But as soon as I said foot, he put his foot the correct way, and then
Right.
each time, bang, 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 he hit the ball. This guy, like, listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. And sometimes, I don't know if players like that, but some players did in the past, and now I just don't know if they want that information from a catcher. But I tell them, always ask the catcher if I'm straight at the plate, because that's what the catcher's there for. To help you guys line up.
So why was Dave the coach of the team? Why don't you take charge, Terry?
All right.
Yeah, Mom.
Because she was spotter and I was on the bench.
Yes.
I mean,
Dave, I only tried it one time, like the year before the dog started in '94. We mostly the same group. Even Danny was with us. We went in '93 as the Sacramento Thrashers, which was a local team that I started with here in California. And Eric and I would like kind of split the coaching duties or whatever, but that's the only time that I was a coach and a player. And I wasn't ready for it. Like I really struggled and was happy to relinquish coaching duties from that point forward.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's a hard job because you have to juggle all your players and make everyone happy. And I mean, I didn't like the job very much, especially when you're low vision. You have to depend on other people to help you, figure out what's going on out in the field. So it wasn't the easiest job, but I only did it for what, 1 year, 2 years?
2 years.
2 years the most.
Oh, okay.
That was I. And then JT came and the rest is,
You gave him the job.
yeah, I graciously gave it to him.
Yeah.
2000, your nightmare one.
Oh, no, that was, yeah.
Taiwan.
Taiwan was that was another game. So, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, coaching's not for everyone, and it's you got to be really tough. But no, it's okay. I'd rather play.
Staying along the lines of like leadership roles, you also have been an MBBA president for our league.
Yeah.
Was that a good experience for you? I was on the board under you, and I'll say honestly, I enjoyed serving under you. I don't know if you always enjoyed having me on your board, but I enjoyed serving under you.
Neil, I appreciated all the board members that were with me when I was president. I mean, the opinions of everybody, of course you kind of disagreed, but you know what? As president, you just had to listen, filter it all through, give your opinion, because you had to be neutral as a president. So
Yeah.
it wasn't, what helped me a lot is when I was a board member and I was like I moved up to like second vice. And that was probably the best learning for me, to be in the second vice, the PR guy. That was the most fun job I've ever had, doing PR. And then being president, it got me prepared for it, being, in front of people and speaking, because I was a nervous wreck anytime I talk. So, but after that, I mean, being president, I learned to be more confident in myself and talk to the people. And, be an understanding guy and listen to everybody say, I mean, I know they didn't like my decisions, which is whatever, that's the way it is. You don't like what I say, you don't like. It's like anything else. So I learned to get thick skin too. You have to have thick skin.
Have to.
But
Any kind of leadership.
Yeah, if you don't, then, you're pretty much going to be killed by by everybody. So it was fun. I really, really enjoyed it. And I was on the board until what, 2018, 2017, whatever Dan Green took over. I forgot when he took over, but it was fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
When came president 18 to 18?
Was
So,
it?
yeah, what Sam say?
I don't know what she's saying.
18. I think she was on the board.
before you're president.
It was six years, so 15, 16, yeah. Joe knows, he knows all these things.
No, but you were president.
Well, okay, so
Yeah, but we're still like on committees, like
Yeah,
budget finance and
yeah, we're still helping out in the
treasury
background.
committee.
My favorite.
Yeah, that doesn't
Sam's
surprise me.
Sam's on the vision committee. Whatever.
Whatever they tell me to do, I'll do it.
Yeah, we like to help the league out. We want to see the league succeed. We're Terry and I, and ever since we've got further into the leadership. I mean, that's our number one goal, to see the league get bigger and prosper. And I mean, it's tough now trying to find players, and it's going to be a bumpy road for a while. Unfortunately, I think, until things settle down.
I agree. I mean, that's been my thought for the last couple of years, and I hope I'm wrong, but I agree. I think it's just for teams and for cities like trying to host the tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yep, I agree. Totally.
bringing it back around to the game, how did you and Joe, lifetime Chicago players, end up playing with the Legends this past year?
Oh, Joe, you want to go with that first?
You want me to go first? Dave or me first?
Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead, Joe. We haven't heard from you in a while.
He doesn't talk much, so let him talk.
What do you want to know about Theo?
How do you guys end up playing with the Legends instead of the Comets this past summer?
I wasn't playing for the Comets. I was with the Tigers.
Oh, okay.
I was with them for 2 years, almost 3 years, and I decided to play with the Legends last year with Dave because he was talking about he's going to retire last year. I decided I want to play with him for the last time together.
Aw.
You know.
Yeah. That's cool. Shout out to Tyler, also friends of the show. Had Larry Reed on a couple times. Rosie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tyler.
I like they're a great team, so I had fun time with them.
So Dave, would you have already retired? Did you just because the Legends was like a unique opportunity?
Right. I was retired a few years, and I was asked by Rob Wigan and Greg Onteric to would you like to play for? And I jumped at it right away. I'm like, when I heard Johnny Walker, you have the best pitcher in the league, and the people from Columbus who were like Mike and Dan Kelly, all this volunteer base and all the players. It was the best time I've ever had playing baseball.
Yeah, it was fun.
We had fun. It was the greatest thing. I am so happy that, and I asked Joe to play because he wanted to play, like he said, because of this was it, where I'm over 60. It's like, it's getting too much on the body. So he, and plus we use these Fonzie balls. I love the Fonzie ball.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness. We love the Fonzie.
Shout out Fonz.
They're going back to the Denver ball, but the Fonzie ball was the best thing ever.
When you get older, you can hear the Fonzie ball better if you're hearing.
So I love the Fonzie. I've never played with the Fonzie ball, but just hearing the tone of the Fonzie ball, it's like, oh my God, I can hear that ball. Those high pitched balls, I can't hear, man. That low tone, I love that. But go ahead.
When you're out in the deep field, you can hear it way out there. It's like, oh, this is great. I mean, it was nice. But yeah, playing with them were a great time. You made all the friends I've always wanted to play with were there to play, at one team. It was just the best thing ever. And I'm glad it came together.
And there was no, infighting or anything?
No, we laughed and had a good time. We didn't care what happened,
Well, we cared, but
we didn't cry if we lost. Let's just say that.
You accepted your fate. Your fate.
Exactly. Because they're these kids, some of these teams like the Thunder and San Antonio, they're gonna beat us solid. And they did. But we had we tried our best to be, to stand up to them. And we did. The Thunder, I think we went 4 innings, and San Antonio, I forgot how long we went with them, but we held our own. Mm-hmm. We held our own for being, over 50.
I always tell my teams there's no shame in losing, only in quitting. So.
Right. I agree. As long as you put an effort into it, Seth, you're right. As long as you put 100% in playing, I don't care what.
Then you learn next time,
for your your mistakes, right?
You learn next time. You work on the goal for Sunday. To work on it.
Each day of the World Series last year, while the tournament was going on, at the end of the day, I was going into Beepball Nation and writing little synopsis of, what went on and what teams were playing, who the next day. And when the USA Legends played the Indy Thunder, I made some kind of spurky comment of that this will be the literal adaptation of the turtle trying to beat the rabbit.
Yeah, you're probably
we were holding our transcender until Joe went down and messed up his rotator cuff. He tore it all the way through.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. How are you recovering, Joe?
It's getting better.
That's a tough surgery.
You know that the young kids would say that's why the old people shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But up to that point, Joe was getting like 2 to 3 outs per inning, but then he went down wrong, and like I said, he did his rotator, and then he also messed up his bicep, so they had to move his bicep down in surgery. Yeah,
He messed himself up good.
really good.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's how it is.
I find that whenever I quit working out, that's a good way to get your biceps to move down all by themselves.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Hey, Dave, do you at all feel bad that you just said that all the people you ever wanted to play with are all there when Seth and I weren't invited?
All right.
Do I feel bad? I always feel bad. I would have liked to play with you two to see what you guys really like on the field. I never really saw you guys. I mean, I know you're competitive, which I am, so you would probably fit in pretty good.
Most people hated playing against us, but liked playing with us. Not all liked playing with us, but most did, I think.
And like most people, there were different times in our career. The Bam Bam of the last few years wasn't the Bam Bam of the first few.
You usually get some players from North Carolina, right? When you play with you.
I mean, that came kind of later. Like the original Dogs, no. Greg Parra is one of my longtime good friends. He and I started out here in Sacramento together playing beepball back in '87. And then he got a job and moved to Carolina in 1990. And he wanted to keep going in beepball. I think it might have been you, Dave, that kind of helped me. Or somebody from the MBBA helped me get in contact with the Carolina League. And I put Greg in contact with them. And then he, and then like at one point we needed a pitcher, so Greg was going to come pitch with us, and one of his players, Glenn Permar, calls me and says, "Man, I'd like to go play in that World Series. Could you help me get on a team?" I was like, "Well, we got like 2 bench players. You come with us, man." And then he would go back and talk about it, and other players would say, "Man, I would like to go." And players like Roger on our team, started building families and getting out of beepball. So as we were losing bench players, these Carolina guys were like, "Hey, I'd like to try that." So I mean, it was more the connection between Greg and I. But that didn't start until like the late '90s. I mean, originally it was mostly Fabiano was our only player from outside the area.
Oh wow! Okay, I knew you guys were kind of local, but
we started out that way.
Until you guys killed us in 2003. Like, it wasn't for what you guys did that we wouldn't have, broken up as a team.
Yes.
I don't know. You can't count on me. Years.
We beat him years before that.
Yeah. I don't know about that. There's rumors you might have beat us.
When you first started around in 88, 89.
Yeah,
we used to beat you. When I played for the Bluffs, we used to beat the East Bay Blaze most of the time. Anytime we played East Bay Blaze.
No. I don't know. I don't believe that. One
of the funniest moments, and it was caught on tape, came against the Bluffs with the Blaze. It was you guys, when you got to the championship in 1990, we played you for the 3rd place game. And we were in a run rule. We started that game on Friday and it got late, and we had to come back on Saturday morning and play the final 3 innings. And it was a close game on Friday, and you guys pounded us on Saturday morning. And we were in a run rule at the end of it, and March Bancroft got this on videotape. Seth had hit the ball deep past all of you, and he ran towards the wrong base. He started out towards first,
Oh,
gets
no.
like 30 feet down, realizes his third's on, and he's coming across the middle of the field. He goes down and dives, missed the base, gets up, goes back, misses it again. It took him 3 swipes to get the base. You guys had 25 seconds to get that ball. They never got it.
You know, that was a young Bam Bam, man. Not many people got
Bases
those
were-
balls, man.
And the bases were 90.
feet back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
March wrote on it, even though it was like a videotape from 1990. She had, however, she got in on the video. It popped like print came up on the screen, said Seth finally finds the base.
That was a raining World Series.
Yeah,
that
the
year.
Rainy World Series
Yeah.
here.
Oh, you're
Yeah, all
right.
that rain we had, all that water and rain.
Yeah.
Hey, is that on YouTube, Neil? Is that video on YouTube of Seth missing the base?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
You know who
Gotta
has,
post it.
No.
you know who has a copy of it though? Is Kyle Kennedy. So you might be able to talk him into hooking you up somehow.
Sammy, let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one. All right, so you're a Beepball baby.
Yeah.
What's your like favorite memory at the World Series?
Well, here
Do
we
you
go.
really want to know?
Well, I would not ask the question if I didn't want to know.
You
What?
were-
There in 03.
He was?
Uh-huh. I was there in 03 when we won. Yeah, I was there.
Your favorite one was
Oh,
in
no,
Florida.
in Florida, and the very first, the very, very favorite is in 16 with Rochester. We were playing Chicago, and one of the players, it was Bill, and I was playing short. I was in a 4-zone, and he hit a 45 to 50 footer, and they called my number, and me being a sprinter, my track background, I went up, kind of did a roll, picked it up, and Mike Woodard was umpiring, and he was like, "Ball's up, he's out," and like this really happy tone, and all of Rochester was like shocked, and then Chicago was like, "Huh?
Sammy, put him out.
Yeah, the Billy Boy.
Well, it was Bill Latham was the
Yeah.
hitter?
Yeah,
Landrum, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's sorry. I should never try to say last names. I really messed them up. I got your cousin Dustin really good. Dustin Rumrum.
Dustin Youngren?
Hey, and that is quite a feat because there were not a lot of balls being put out in Rochester, New York. They were a high scoring tournament.
no,
No.
no.
Those fields were like
That was it.
difficult.
15.
They were nothing I've ever seen before, man. Nothing.
No, those
No,
slanting fields, they were terrible. They were like, oh my God.
You tore your calf there.
Yeah, I tore my calf muscle there. Thankfully.
Uh,
So,
Well, I think we've given our audience a pretty good overview of the Smolkas. We've touched all over the place: old times, new times, family times, off the field, on the field. And you guys have been a dedicated family to this sport, and thumbs up to you for it.
thank you much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Seth.
Hey, and we will definitely hook you guys up when we do our Beepball Family Feud edition.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get the Smolkas and the Woodards.
We got,
That's
They,
the
uh,
best.
they knew we had a different cousin was playing for us for 1 year.
Well, yeah, well, that
Mike,
was
we had a cousin
Oh,
Mike.
Mike.
He played for a little bit.
Mike
Yeah.
Maslow.
he played for 1 year.
But get this. But for some reason, with all the Smolka players, they all have nicknames that do with climate. Like John was lightning, Joe was breeze, Dave was thunder, Dave's sister Debbie was rainbow, Sam was tornado,
Tornado.
and Dustin's white light.
Because of
White
the-
It's all
Mike was storming.
climate based, and I have no idea why.
No, it's because Breeze for Dave for because I run real fast. My brother and I, John,
Right.
we were quick. That's
Right.
why he called lightning breeze.
Daddy Thunder because he hits the ball hard.
That's what we called
Can't
it.
run well.
It can't run around me because I rolled.
Because we were fast. And
Well, Rick Casillas called me Thunder. The first time, that's how I got my nickname. When I first started with the inside, he called me Thunder because I hit the ball pretty hard back when I was younger. He's like, you hit like thunder. I'm like, oh, there you go. So that's my nickname. Ever since '87, I wore that jersey said Thunder on it.
Ah.
I never even knew that. See, I don't know. I didn't know what hardly anybody had on their jersey.
Yeah.
You know, Seth years ago gave me the nickname of Devil Dog. And
Yeah.
so when we, and he gave me that before we were the West Coast Dogs. So it was just natural once we went as the West Coast Dogs, I would put Devil Dog on my jersey. And I remember Annie Moss that used to spot for the Wichita Sonics. At one point she came up and she looked at my shirt. She's like, you know, from a distance, I always thought that said Dirty Dog.
Yeah, this past World Series, since we were all on the Legends, Dave's back of his jersey said Smolka #1, then Joe Smolka #2, and Dan Smolka #3.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's a good one.
old to young.
Yeah,
yeah.
Very cool.
So, yep.
yeah.
But we appreciate you putting us on the air. It was
You bet.
it was a time talking to everybody. And
Yeah, good times. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but fun.
All right. Well, good.
All
Well,
right.
you guys stay tuned for your invitation to Beepball Family Feud.
I can't wait.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Neil's not the biggest game show connoisseur, so I will have to structure it and put it all together and stuff like that. But it's gonna be
No,
great.
well,
It's gonna
We'll
be
wait
big.
for the invite.
Yeah,
It's
you
coming.
guys, it's on its way. You guys have lit my fire.
Daddy, you're amazing.
And then you get a good laugh at Dave's answers because he's the best at family food when we get together with the family. He gives outrageous answers. which
That's
is-
true. They're a game. I've seen that on Facebook. They're a game playing family.
Yep.
They were
Yes.
getting together during COVID, man, all like spread out through the house, yelling
Yeah.
out answers.
Yeah.
I see you,
But
Terry.
Booze was involved too. Don't
Booze was
forget.
involved. You know, a couple shots of alcohol does wonders.
For everyone. Liquid courage.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That is
Okay.
it for this week. Thank you so much to all you Smolkas. We appreciate it. Thank you, Seth Dog, as always. Thank you, Frank Porter, for all the work you do behind the scenes. We'll catch everybody next time. Good night.